Eduard Salsas, thank you for being with us here on France 24. You yourself, Barcelona born, but also educated partly in Madrid. First, though, is the monarchy in danger?
Well, the monarchy has been safe for the past 40 years since the transition. We need to recall that King Juan Carlos was appointed by the dictator, by Franco, and he chose to lead the country through turbulent years in the late 70s, and he made right choices. And for example, during the coup d'état or the attempt of coup d'état in '81, and he chose democracy. So King Juan Carlos has been safe of criticism by the press or by population because he was seen as a leader. He certainly played a major role when Barcelona was appointed for the Summer Olympics in '92. He has developed an extensive network in Latin America and in the Middle East. So I'm pretty sure his work has helped Spanish companies to develop business in these areas. So he has been like relatively safe from all this. However, since 2011, things started to go wrong. We've seen it before, corruption scandals affecting Princess Christina and her husband, his health problems, his hunting elephant scandal. The popularity of the monarchy has been going down. And then the context in Spain is we're suffering a very harmful economic crisis. There's far too high unemployment rate. People are unhappy. We're seeing that the results in the European election just are surprising. So
I was going to say that the European elections, it was after the European elections that he makes this announcement, which surprises many.
Well, it's after the European election and before the general election. And he's choosing to do it now with the current parliament, Spanish parliament, and not the parliament that he may have after the general election.
Because you think that the next parliament could be a more Republican parliament than now?
Well, according to the European results, the Communist Party made 11%. It is true that the Communists supported the king during the transition, but they are now claiming that they are Republicans, so I don't know what to think. There are other emerging parties. Podemos, they were the fourth party in votes, and more than 1.2 million votes. So, and these parties, it calls for the removal of the establishment, la casta, they call it, all the political establishment. Yeah. And so it is clear that the dual party system is falling apart. So now in the parliament, the Popular Party and the Socialists have a vast majority, but we don't know what can happen in the next general election.
So explain to us this in the context of Spain, which is a country that for many years bore the scars of the civil war that preceded the Second World War, polarized country between right and left. The role of the monarchy in this why is the monarchy not more universally approved of in that sense as the sort of the consensus builder?
Because during these turbulent years, the country needed a leader, more than a leader, needed a mediator between left and right. So the communist leaders were living in the exile. The right-wing leaders were actually affiliated to the dictatorship. So they needed somebody more neutral. And King Juan Carlos has been a neutral figure in all these democracy years. So he had excellent relationship with Felipe González, with Aznar, with Zapatero. So he has been this mediator. However, now that the system is starting to tumble, it's difficult to
but at a period where you're describing yourself, where Spanish politics is going to become perhaps more fractious. There'll be more coalition building if there are more smaller parties that gain seats. Don't they need this mediator role?
Indeed, they need a mediator role, but Juan Carlos is too associated, is too related to the
established order.
Yeah, to the old regime, I would say.
Which brings us to the subject of Catalonia, which, like Scotland, is talking about independence.
Yes.
What's the feeling there towards the monarchy?
Well, Catalonia has always had a love and hate relationship with the monarchy, but I would say that more importantly, it's not about monarchy or republic in Catalonia. More importantly, it's the fact that Catalans are now calling for the right to decide. And in Madrid, they were opposing the fact that the Constitution does not provide for this right to decide on independence or not independence. Well, now we've seen in the images that people across the country are demonstrating for their right to decide on republic versus monarchy. So actually, this is the very same question that the Catalans have been claiming for the past years. So I would say that the Catalan phenomenon is spreading across the country. So this right to decide, it's going to be a key issue in the next months for the political establishment in Spain, because they will need to rule at some point on what to do with this. And
there's suspense there. We don't know what's going to happen.
We don't know what's going to happen, but we were discussing this same issue some months ago here. It's not provided in the law, but it seems inevitable. Millions of people are demonstrating in the streets of Catalonia to have this right to decide, and if now this spreads across the country, well, it's inevitable.
So the king, like everywhere else in Europe, a largely ceremonial role. What do we know about Prince Felipe, and what kind of man is he?
Well, we know little about him because he has been protected from criticism. We know he's very prepared. He has been prepared for this. We know, we're being said that Queen Sofia has played a key role in his education. She's the daughter of a king, the sister of a king, and the wife of a king, and now will be mother of a king. So she knows about it, and she has been safe from a lot of criticism. So we know he's prepared. We know he's rational, and we know that a lot of people expect him to manage to deal with all these issues and to mediate as his father did. However, I think that it's a very heavy burden for him, because Juan Carlos did a very good job during the transition, and now we're asking the very same thing to his son. So,
all right, so it's touch and go then for the Spanish monarchy. Eduard Salsas, I want to thank you very much for joining us here on France 24. Stay with us. Much more to come. We'll have more news